Have you ever sat down to speak English and felt your throat close? Not because you forgot the word, you know the word. You studied it last night. You even wrote it on a sticky note and put it on your wall. But when the moment comes, the sound just won't leave your mouth. I've been there hundreds of times, and for years I thought something was wrong with me. I thought I wasn't talented enough. Or maybe English was just too different for my language. But then, one ordinary Tuesday evening, I was trying to explain something simple to a friend, and my words came out like broken glass. Short, sharp, painful. And I remember thinking, I've been learning English for almost 4 years. Why is it still this hard? That question changed everything, because the answer wasn't what I expected. It was simpler, and nobody had ever told me. It wasn't about learning more, it was about practicing differently. And that shift in thinking took me from feeling stuck to finally seeing a way forward. I am still learning English. Not as a teacher, not as a coach, as a student who happens to make videos about the journey. And I want to tell you about one of my lowest moments. About 3 years ago, I was working at a small cafe. Not serving customers, just cleaning tables and washing dishes. It was a quiet place, the kind where the same regulars came every morning and ordered the same coffee. I liked it because nobody expected me to speak much. I could just wipe tables and stay inside my head. One afternoon, a tourist came in. She was holding a map and looked a little lost. She asked me for directions to the museum. I understood every single word she said. Every single word. The museum was only a 10-minute walk away. I knew the way. I had walked past it dozens of times. But when I opened my mouth to answer, nothing came out. Not one syllable. I just stood there, holding a wet rag, and smiled like I didn't understand. She walked away. I walked to the back and stared at the wall for 5 minutes. That night, I went home and counted how many hours I had spent studying English, watching videos, reading articles, listening to podcasts. I calculated roughly 2,000 hours. 2,000 hours, and I couldn't answer a simple question from a stranger. That's when I realized I had been practicing the wrong thing. I was feeding my brain, but starving my mouth. I was so focused on input that I forgot output is a physical skill, not just a mental one. Here is the idea that took me years to understand. Speaking a language is not like remembering a fact. It's like learning to ride a bicycle. You can read 100 books about how a bicycle works. You can memorize the names of every gear and brake cable. But the first time you sit on a real bike, you will wobble. You might fall, because your body hasn't learned the movement yet. English speaking is the same. Your brain can know every grammar rule. Your ears can recognize every accent. But your mouth, your tongue, your jaw, your breath, they don't know what to do with all that information. They haven't practiced the physical motion. And you cannot learn physical motion by watching. You can only learn it by doing, over and over. Slowly at first, then faster, then without thinking. You can read about knife techniques. But the first time you hold a knife and try to chop an onion quickly, your fingers feel clumsy. The pieces are uneven, you move slowly. Only after you have chopped 50 onions does your hand start to move on its own. That's muscle memory. That's what your mouth needs for English. Not more information, more repetitions of the right movement. That's the big idea I wish someone had whispered to me when I was still polishing cafe tables. English is not just in your head, it lives in your mouth, and your mouth needs practice. I remember reading something once from a researcher who studied how children learn their first language. She said that babies spend their first year just listening, but also watching faces, moving their lips, making sounds that aren't words yet. They are not learning vocabulary, they are training their mouths. They are building a map in their brains that connects sound with muscle movement. And by the time they say their first real word, they have already practiced hundreds of hours of physical speech preparation. Most adults skip that whole stage. We jump straight to memorizing word lists. We think knowing is the same as saying, but it isn't. And that simple realization helped me stop blaming myself for being slow. I wasn't slow. I was just missing the physical part.
Babies don't memorize flashcards. They babble. They make mistakes. They repeat the same syllable 100 times. And eventually, their mouth just knows what to do.
I am not saying we should go back to babbling like babies, but we can borrow that idea. Repeat sounds until the mouth stops thinking and just moves. When I started experimenting with something very small, every morning, before I checked my phone, I would take one English sentence. Just one. Not a complicated sentence. Something like, I would like a cup of tea. Or, could you say that again? Or, I'm running a little late. And I would say it out loud 10 times, but not the same way each time. First, I would whisper it. Then I would say it with a very clear, exaggerated mouth movement, almost like I was doing a theatrical performance. Then I would say it at my normal speaking speed. Then I would say it as fast as I could without losing clarity. It felt ridiculous. I live in a small apartment with thin walls. I was sure my neighbor thought I was rehearsing for a play. Some mornings I almost gave up because it felt so unnatural. But on day 7, something shifted. I was at the supermarket, standing in line, and the cashier asked if I wanted a receipt. In English. I didn't plan it. My mouth just moved. No, thank you. 3 words.
Smooth. No pause, no panic. It wasn't a beautiful, complex sentence. It wasn't even a complete sentence grammatically, but it came out whole, not broken. That was the first time I felt like my mouth was catching up to my brain. And it didn't happen because I learned new words. It happened because I finally let my mouth do the work. That tiny win stayed with me. The next day I practiced again, and the day after. Slowly, the gap between thinking and speaking began to shrink.
Let me share 3 simple words that I use almost every day. These are common words, but they can be used in many different situations. The first word is actually. I use this word when I want to correct something gently or when I want to share a small surprise. If someone says, "You must be tired," I might say, "Actually, I feel quite energetic today." It softens the correction. It also adds a little honesty to a conversation. You can use it at the beginning of a sentence or in the middle. It just means the truth is.
The second word is little. This word is useful for describing small things, but also for being polite. If you want a small amount of something, you can say, "Just a little, please." If you want to complain softly, you can say, "I'm a little tired." It makes your English sound kinder and less direct. You can also use it with time. "I'll be there in a little while." It's a friendly word. The third word is probably. This is a wonderful word for when you are not completely sure, but you want to give your best guess. Will it rain today? Probably. Are you coming to the meeting? I probably will. It shows you are thinking, but you don't have all the information. It's honest and natural. You can also put it in the middle. I will probably be late. It sounds much more natural than maybe. Now, here is a useful phrase. I've been meaning to. This is a kind way to say you wanted to do something, but you haven't done it yet. Maybe a friend sent you a message and you forgot to reply. You can say, "I've been meaning to write back." It shows you care and you didn't forget on purpose. You can use it with almost any verb. I've been meaning to try that restaurant. I've been meaning to call my mother. We all have things we keep meaning to do. Another phrase I like is, "Do you mind if I?" This is a gentle way to ask permission. Do you mind if I sit here? Do you mind if I open the window? It is more polite than "can I?" and it gives the other person room to say no comfortably. If they say, "No, not at all," that means yes, you can do it. If they say, "Actually, I'd prefer not," that means no, but it is still friendly. This phrase helps you sound respectful in English. Now, a small grammar point that helped me: when we speak about the past, we often worry about using the correct tense. But in daily conversation, native speakers keep it simple. Instead of saying, "I have already eaten," they might say, "I already ate." Instead of, "I have never seen that movie," they might say, "I never saw that movie." It is not perfect textbook grammar, but it is completely natural. People will understand you, and they will not correct you. What matters more is that you keep speaking, not that every tense is perfect. Here is something you can do today, right now. It will take less than 2 minutes. Choose one sentence, any sentence in English. It can be about your day, your feelings, anything. For example, today I feel a little tired. Or, I hope I can sleep well tonight. Or, this coffee is too hot. Keep it simple. Now say it out loud 5 times, very slowly, stretching every sound, like you are speaking underwater. Then say it 5 times at your normal speed. Then say it 5 times while looking at yourself in a mirror, or even just the camera on your phone. Don't judge how you look. Just watch your mouth. See if your lips open enough. See if your tongue appears between your teeth for the TH sound. See if your jaw drops for the open vowels. Do this every day for 1 week with a different sentence each day. That's it. No grammar quizzes, no vocabulary tests. Just 1 minute of watching yourself speak. If you want to take it further, record your voice on your phone. Just 1 sentence a day.
Play it back. Don't criticize. Just notice. The first time I heard my own voice, I cringed. I sounded nothing like I imagined. But after a few days, I stopped judging and started observing. And that observation taught me more than any textbook. You don't need a teacher, you don't need a partner. You just need your voice and a few seconds of honesty. This tiny habit was the turning point for me. Because before I could sound good to others, I had to stop feeling strange when I saw myself speaking.
I want to be real with you. Doing this every day will not make you fluent in 30 days. Anyone who promises that is selling something. What will happen is slower, quieter, and more permanent. After a few weeks, you will notice that you hesitate half a second less. After a couple of months, you will catch yourself saying a whole sentence without translating it in your head first. After 6 months, someone will say, "Your English is really coming along," and you will realize you didn't even feel nervous during that conversation. That is the kind of progress that stays. It doesn't make headlines. It doesn't make dramatic before and after videos, but it makes your mouth belong to you. I still make mistakes. I still forget words. I still sometimes say he when I should say she. That used to embarrass me. Now I just correct myself and keep going. Because fluency is not the absence of errors. Fluency is the ability to keep speaking even when you're not perfect. And that ability grows slowly, like a tree. You don't see it move, but one day you look up, and there is shade. I planted that tree 2 years ago with 1 sentence a day. Today, I can talk to strangers without panic. I can leave voicemails without re-recording them 10 times. I can make mistakes in front of people and not feel like I've failed. That is not because I am special. It's because I finally understood that speaking is a physical habit, and habits are built with tiny, boring repetitions. There is no magic. There is only patience. Thank you for staying with me until this moment. I know your time is valuable, and you could have watched anything else. The fact that you chose to spend these minutes thinking about how you speak means something. It means you care about your voice, and I think that's beautiful. If you want to continue practice with me, I made a video about why your English effort isn't working and what actually works. It's not a magic trick. It's another small habit that helped me over time. I'll leave a link. And if you feel comfortable, I would love to read your answer to one question in the comments. What is one English sentence you want your mouth to feel comfortable saying? Just one sentence. Write it down. That's your practice for tomorrow. And if you come back next week and tell me you did it, I will celebrate with you. Whether you subscribe or not, I'm grateful you listened. This community we have here, it's made of people who refuse to stay silent. And you are one of them now. Keep going. Your mouth will catch up.